Welcome to week 6 in the Activate Your Voice video series. I'm Susie Beiler, your host in the Light Language Symposium. And in this video, we're actually going to talk about being silent. What does being silent have to do with opening and unlocking your voice? Well, listening informs you about what your audience needs. Remember last week we talked about knowing your audience. Know to whom you are speaking and what they need from your soul essence and your wisdom. The way to find that out is to listen to what they have to say, to their needs, to their desires, to what they want out of life. Listen. Now, sometimes in conversation, the best thing you can do is to say nothing at all. You may have heard of the term silent power. And this is when you know something, but you don't need to express it with your voice. You just hold the space for it. So let's say you're in a conversation with a friend and they're sharing something with you that's on their heart. And you know that you could say something snarky or say something judgmental or say something perhaps even useful. But instead of speaking, you just hold the space for what they're going through. You allow them to speak. You allow them to have their feelings and their experience. And you just shut up and listen. And in that listening, you're offering them your soul essence, as we talked about in week 3. You're offering them your heart. You're even offering them your wisdom, but in a way where you are simply being quiet and holding the space. So I invite you to think about a time where instead of being present with what someone was saying, you jumped in or even interrupted and started speaking. The proper use of the voice is not through interruption. It's not through making sure your voice is heard above all others. It is speaking when the time is potent, speaking when you are with the appropriate audience and speaking to your appropriate audience. It is having the wisdom and the discipline to shut up if needed. So let's say that you are in a situation where you know you have the answer to something or you have wisdom to offer, but the person or people you're with, you know, aren't going to be receptive to what you have to say. One of the smartest things you can do in that situation is to just be quiet and listen, and to hold space for them to come to their own conclusions. Now you might say, but Susie, I thought this whole thing is about unlocking my voice and activating my voice and learning how to speak my truth. Yes, it is, but a foundational skill in being an effective communicator is to not interrupt people, not talk over people, listen when someone else has something to say. And again, if you're not with your audience, to allow them to speak. And if they want to know what you think, they can ask you. And you just sit there in your silent power, knowing what you know, not from an ego place, not from a place of being cocky or I'm better than you, but just simply knowing what you know and allowing that to be enough. And the voice of silence in that situation is golden. I invite you to reflect on your life when you've spoken out of turn, when you've tried to make your voice heard, when you knew it wasn't going to be received, when you are talking to someone that is not your audience and would be receptive to you. Reflect on that and the next time you have the opportunity to try to make sure you edge your voice in and get your voice heard, but you know that it's not the time or the place, take a step back. Drop into your body, drop into your heart, and access the power of silence. Come over to our Facebook group, share your experiences with using your silent power, and I'll see you next week. Much love.